What's good, nigga? Back with another video. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, just real quick. Back with another video. Got a Peacemaker related, DCU related video by my boy M Enterprises called or titled "What the Fuck is Going On with Man Tomorrow?" And you got Peacemaker on the side, Superman Lex in the middle with Brainiac to the left. So yeah, if you watched the Peacemaker finale, what were your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments. I had kind of got into how I felt about it in that little video. I posted like the little reel short thing I posted on my my YouTube channel. So go look at that if you want to hear a little bit of my like opinions on the finale discourse. But me personally, I felt it was a underwhelming finale, but it wasn't a bad episode. So when people are like talking about, oh, it's a nothing burger, I don't agree with that shit at all. No, I took a lot out of the finale. It just, when it came to it being the possible season, pretty much the series finale of the show, potentially, like, I was hoping we get a lot more to cap off this series, because it don't seem like we're getting a season 3 of this. So it's going to lead into a whole different show, probably a checkmate show or something like that, because people have been speculating. James Gunn has said, like, or not James Gunn has said, but I think he might have said it. He probably did. But he said something along the lines of him working on some like spinoff show that no one knows about. And the spinoff show, people are speculating, is probably the checkmate show, because he likes to work with the same people. So it makes sense. But this video is 10 minutes long, you know, probably going into speculation to what we're going to see in Man Tomorrow. I really hope we do see. It'd be cool to see Peacemaker. I'm not going to lie. It's like just a hero in the background. Like, if Brainiac's the main villain and we get to like see Brainiac like take over, you know, Metropolis and the world or whatnot, and seeing other heroes get in action, that'd be cool to see Peacemaker. But, you know, I would have wanted to see that, but if you've seen the finale, spoilers obviously, but if you've seen the finale, you know that Peacemaker is now trapped in fucking Salvation Planet. So, I mean, it seems like Superman and Lex might get involved with that in their movie, and that might lead into Peacemaker getting freed. Who knows? Hopefully. But if not, we'll have to see if Peacemaker's going to get out. When is he going to get out? Because we don't even know if he's going to be probably there all the way up until Man of Tomorrow, or all the way up until the new checkmate show, potentially. Who knows? But either way, I'm excited for the DCU. I still like Peacemaker. I still love the show. I still love the character. I just didn't like the finale. I think the finale was just an underwhelming finale. A lot of people agreed. When the moment I felt where I was just like, is that it? And when I went to Twitter and went to TikTok, everybody was saying the same shit. Like, oh, this don't really feel like a finale. Or mainly people were saying the gun jammed. But I was just like, this finale doesn't feel like a finale. But neither here nor there. I still love Peacemaker. Still excited for DCU. And we're going to get Lanterns and Supergirl and Clayface after this. So it's going to be, and those are helmed by totally different teams within the DC Studios group. So it's going to be different styles. So it's not going to feel like James Gunn over and over and over again. So that's what I'm excited for. It having different flavors and stuff. But I've done enough yapping. Let's get into this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Comic of the day. Pretty on the nose, I know. But, you know, got to be on the nose with this shit. But anyway, let's get into this video.
After watching Superman for the first time, one of my immediate reactions was wanting to see more of this new Superman.
Exactly.
David Cornswet to me perfectly embodies the character, and there are so many aspects
Superman,
of
the animated
that
series,
need to be further explored in this universe. I want to see more of Clark Kent, the reporter, and spend more time with the Daily Planet group. Hell, I'll take a Jimmy Olsen show centered on him covering different DC.
I want that.
I want more.
I want more. Yes, I want more.
And I know I shouldn't.
Yes.
Thankfully, my prayers were answered when James Gunn announced Man of Tomorrow, slated
Tomorrow,
for a July 2027 release. The Superman saga seems to be in full swing, with the first DCU movie setting the stage for sequels starring the titular character, and further exploring the overarching plot threads of this new universe through projects like Peacemaker. The gun just keeps firing.
Bang, 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 bang!
Arguably the best part of the Man of Tomorrow
Oh,
announcement
Angry
is the
Joe.
relatively short window between its release and that of Superman.
stupid.
Only 2 years after its predecessor. I used to pray for superhero movie
Yes,
sequels to
bro.
get back
It's
on this
so
kind of timeline.
soon.
Waiting
That's
5
the best
plus
part
years for
about
the
this
next
shit.
installment of a franchise is crazy work. But where do
Facts.
things go from here? How will this next installment further elevate the Superman cast of characters and the overall story at play? I was initially concerned about Lex Luthor returning as the primary antagonist in the next Superman film, as I had hoped other notable villains would finally get the spotlight, many of whom have been largely neglected throughout Superman's cinematic history.
Yeah.
But everyone quickly caught on to the fact that Lex Luthor and
Yeah,
Superman are
back
actually
to
going to
back.
team up in Man
Yes.
of Tomorrow to
They don't
combat
let
some
their-
larger
yeah.
threat. After his imprisonment in Belle Reve due to the shenanigans he
Teaming
pulled in
up.
Superman, it brought up the question of how Lex would continue to be a prominent figure in the DCU. I wonder how he's been holding up since then.
I'm here in Belle Reve listening to a bear-sized man with dragon skin.
Oh, it was a great cameo. Great cameo.
That's rough, buddy.
Even though he still has to serve a prison sentence, things are slowly starting to work in Lex's favor with him developing a working relationship with Rick Flag
Rick
Sr.
Flag
and Argus.
Sr..
This is already starting to take noticeable effect with him providing notes on the developments Argus has found in other
Yeah.
dimensions in the quantum unfolding chamber.
Yeah.
Perhaps things could escalate to Luthor helping Argus develop or design any weaponry and artillery. Casually having access to something like the
It's gonna buy
QUC
his
where you
freedom
can journey to
somehow.
different
I know it
dimensions
will.
is pretty nuts. That other dimension Peacemaker visits and eventually decides to stay in for a brief period sounds like a pretty cool place. He has a relationship with Harcourt, his pops and his brother are still alive. The
Fuck
three
that
of them are
world.
beloved superhero
Fuck
trio
that
evergreen.
world.
I don't see why Peacemaker wouldn't want to stick around.
Fuck that world, nigga. Fuck that world, nigga. Oh, black.
We don't know what this larger threat is as of right now, but it's been heavily theorized that Lex and Superman are gonna have to put aside their differences to fight Brainiac, which I'm hoping is the case because not only is Brainiac the most prominent Superman villain that has never made a live-action theatrical appearance, his abilities would require the collaboration of multiple characters to take him down, and his inclusion would be a great way for Superman to reconnect with his Kryptonian heritage with the bottled city of Kandor. Even if the main adversary isn't Brainiac, it's still gonna be cool to see Lex finally don his iconic power armor in live action. Something fans have been dying to see on the big screen for years. The most consistent through line across the DCU projects so far has been the increasing presence of metahumans, regardless of whether their intentions are good or bad. Sphere News mentioned the metahuman breakouts that have been happening in Arkham and Belle Reve. This would pave the way for Rick Flag Sr. to find an alternative prison for metahumans after Peacemaker handed the QUC portal to Argus, willingly sacrificing Argus agents in search of a dimension that can be inhabited by metahumans, so that none of them would be able to escape, calling it Planet Salvation. This narrative plot point is crucial to the overall story of the DCU, so much so that James Gunn actually used episode 8 as part of his pitch for the universe to David Zaslav.
Because when I actually pitched
Yes, this was. I love the
idea of the
interviews.
DCU to David Zaslav and what some of the stories would be, I pitched the end of episode 8 to Zaslav. So that's been like, yeah.
Wait, so Peacemaker season 2 was
Yeah.
like part of what convinced Zaslav to do the DC universe with like this way.
Yeah, I mean that was, well, listen, he was pretty on board from the beginning, and I could have been
Of
telling him
course.
probably anything.
Of course,
But
nigga.
like he was really into, he was into the idea of the connected universe and what the overall story was.
In the comics, Amanda Waller
still
and Rick
excited. I
Flag
feel like
discussed
people-
the rampage of metahuman
I'm gonna
villains.
pause it one time. I feel like the people that are like already trying to jump ship because of this finale are weird. You are never for the DCU, and it shows. It's so weird to me how like people will just turn overnight on some shit. It's crazy. I don't like that shit. For me, just because the finale was slightly underwhelming, slightly not the thing that people wanted to cap off the series, don't mean the DCU was garbage or the DCU want to turn into the MCU or whatever. Like, let it cook. It just started. It's the first live action show, the second show in the DCU. Like, calm down. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Across the globe, and the countless innocent people who have died as a result. So, Waller and Checkmate initiate a program to imprison and exile problematic metahumans on another planet via a boom tube. A planet with the necessary resources for survival, but is also inhabited by dangerous monsters and other life forms. The prisoners of this new planet include famous DC villains like the Flash Rogues, the Joker, Mr. Freeze, Lex Luthor, Cheetah, and a bunch of other villains. Gunn isn't striving to adapt the Salvation Run beat for beat, rather just focusing on the mere concept of sending a bunch of bad guys to another dimension. The planet also has connections to the new gods of Apocalypse, but I don't really think that will be incorporated into the DCU's version. This new plot point is one of the ways Peacemaker Season 2 leads into Man of Tomorrow, with Gunn confirming that salvation will be further explored in that movie. We also see metahumans gradually disappear throughout the story, and this alternate dimension will play a key role in the DCU stories.
This reminds me of Young Justice,
forming a
bro.
fundamental part of the ongoing conflict between the government
like the
and
metahuman trafficking shit.
We may see a brief glimpse of Christopher Smith in Man of Tomorrow, since Rick Flag Sr. forged his signature to become the first test subject to determine if the planet was inhabitable for any potential prisoners. Up until that moment, I was fine with Rick Flag Sr. for the most part. I rocked with him when watching the first season of Creature Commandos. He didn't seem to have any nefarious purposes in his short appearances in
Complete
Superman.
heel
Even if he
turn.
did act on
Complete
emotions
heel
from time to
turn,
time
bro.
and started to delve into slimy behavior in the second season of Peacemaker, I could still understand his motivation, since from his perspective, the guy who killed his son was just roaming
It's
around
Ricky,
scot-free.
you
But
piece
after
of
the
shit.
lengths he went to just to imprison Peacemaker, not giving a damn about the Argus employees who were dying in the QUC, homeboy can get his back broken again for all
He
I
ain't
care.
give a fuck, like.
Call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
Another key takeaway from the season 2 finale is the formation of Checkmate, run by the 11th Street Kids,
Peak.
Judo Master, Sasha Bordeaux, and Langston Fleury. Checkmate in the comics is another prominent secret government organization in the DC universe that has taken part in several major events. In the DCU, however, it's set to be an organization that differs from the other institutions in the universe, which includes the government, corporations, the Justice Gang, and any metahuman groups roaming around. There are no current plans for Peacemaker Season 3, but many of the characters from the latest season will appear in another DC show. It could be the Waller show currently in development, with Amanda Waller trying to regain government control, and her daughter Adebayo's creation of Checkmate being a major plot point. Or it could be retooled into a show centered on the Checkmate organization itself.
Yeah.
Regardless of where we'll see Checkmate in the future, I'm just glad that means we get to see more of Miss Sasha Bordeaux. Ahaha.
You know what I'm saying?
I only bring that up because of her known role in the organization from the comics. Being part cyborg and all, she'd be a valuable asset to the team. You know, she could be a standout character in
Facts.
the DCU, and you know, she just looks like she'd be a very capable fighter.
Very capable.
And has good intelligence.
Ay,
And,
ay, ay.
and what was I originally talking about
That's
again?
what I'm saying, nigga. What?
I'm sorry, but your
Fuck if I know. Shit.
Tying things
Yeah.
back to Man of Tomorrow, James Gunn hesitated to call it a direct sequel or Superman 2 before making the official announcement.
not
A
a
big
sequel.
part of the reason why has to do with it probably being as much of a Lex Luthor movie as it is
The
a
thing that is
Superman.
not is the reason
Really
why
getting
it's,
into the
bro,
story of
the
Lex.
fact that people are still stuck on that, like, bro, it's not even titled Superman 2. That is intentional. Everything this nigga do is intentional. The fact that the Guardians movies weren't named Guardians Part 2 or Part 3, they were named Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. It was to tie into the idea of the music and how the music's meant to be a part of Chris's character, and you follow the Guardians throughout their different chapters in life. That was cool. It was meant to give it its own like feel, separate to everything in the MCU. But with this, I feel like a lot of people are getting so hung up on the idea that the Man of Tomorrow is Superman's, nickname. But it's like, you can apply it to Lex. Lex sees himself as the Man of Tomorrow. He sees himself as the man of the future, the man that's going to lead everybody to a promising greater future. He's so egotistical and so driven to be that character that, we're going to get that. It's going, bro. President Luthor is coming. President Luthor, my nigga.
And the complexities of his character.
I think I'm just more interested in getting into the heart of Lex and seeing how
We
he
know
fits
why.
into all of this.
We know
I
why.
think that getting to know Lex more as a human being, I think we saw, a lot about the evil part of Lex.
There's also the aspect of the movie featuring an ensemble cast of
Yeah.
heroes, with the story surrounding
It's not gonna
group
be
of
the same
characters seen
group,
in
though.
Superman. If it truly is an all hands on deck type of scenario, it would make sense for Supergirl to play
it's gonna
some
be more
role. Even though
heroes.
both her and Superman aren't official Justice Gang members, they do tend to help out a lot, according to Gunn. A major theme in the DCU narrative is the struggle for power and control among the different factions, the metahumans, governments, and corporations. The four major companies vying for dominance include Luthor Corp, Lord Tech, Stag Industries, and Wayne Enterprises. There's been a shift in the balance of power in favor of the metahumans following the events in Superman and the heroes being praised for their efforts.
Glad you're not concerned about the metahumans, Rick.
Because now they're the ones making the rules.
People are denying metahumans were a threat.
They are.
It seems they're taking over the world. And the Justice Gang and Superman determining international politics.
Throughout the DCU, I think you'll see Justice League International inspired ideas, with Maxwell Lord using metahumans and corporate sponsorship to gain an advantage in the struggle for domination. Seeing the evolution and potential expansion of the Justice Gang over time, especially since they're essentially holding tryouts, as seen in the first episode of Peacemaker season 2.
More
you also
groups,
see the team moving into the Hall of
characters.
Justice in Superman, as it's not fully decked out yet, with boxes scattered throughout the place. The JLI inspirations are even more apparent, with Gunn confirming that the version of Maxwell Lord in the
based off of that
DCU
run,
is more in line with the original version seen in the JLI series, who was more multi-layered and morally gray. So he's not necessarily an awful person or an outright villain. In regard to the other heroes who could appear in Man of Tomorrow, I've seen some speculation about the DCU Batman making his first live-action appearance to help combat whatever larger threat is out there. I guess it's not totally out of the realm of possibility, but I'm leaning more towards that not happening, as Man of Tomorrow is set to go into production relatively soon, and Gunn is still figuring out the Batman side of things behind the scenes. Maybe it could be a Supergirl cameo in Superman scenario, but I'm not really expecting him to play a major part in the movie, let alone show up at all. It really depends on if the characters that help out are Metropolis based.
I think we're gonna get John Stewart though, at the bare minimum.
Like John Stewart or Lobo, for example, characters who reside outside of
at
Metropolis,
the bare minimum.
Then I could see people going, all right, where the hell is Batman? Plus, we don't know how many heroes Batman has encountered by this point, or if he's even met Superman yet. It's gonna be interesting to see how the overarching story beats of the DCU are further fleshed out and ramp up from here. 2026 might be the year of DC bangers, with Lanterns, Supergirl, and Clayface all slated for release. These projects will be a true test of the DCU's longevity and how well its TV shows and movies hold up with different directors and writers attached, offering different styles and tones that suit the characters. Let's hope DC Studios continues to provide fans with quality content across the board.
Real shit. All right, guys, back, bro. That was a good reaction. Some of my recording got fucked up because, you know, I hate recording off my fucking iPad. This happens all the time. I record on my fucking iPad. It's so annoying. So if you want to help a nigga out, you know, Cash App. I'm just playing. I don't put my Cash App in my fucking my description. So, but yeah, recording's a little fucked up. So that's probably why you got like cuts and like freeze frames and stuff. But you know, all the recording, all the audio's there. So that's what's important, really. But yes, I am very much thinking that like Salvation is gonna be somewhere in Superman or Man of Tomorrow, I mean. And at the bare minimum, in terms of like superhero characters we'll get, like side characters, John Stewart at the bare minimum. Miss Terrific could be a recurring character. I can see that happening again. But at the bare minimum, we'll definitely get like a Green Lantern presence that's not Guy Gardner. So, yeah. I think you pretty much everything that I'm thinking of. I'm honestly like I'm very much looking forward to how Supergirl is going to tie back into Man Tomorrow, because that's going to be so outside and in like all the way in deep space. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to directly tie in back to the, you know, what's going on Earth and Metropolis. And on top of that, Lanterns. Where is Lanterns set in the timeline? Because Lanterns seem like it's gonna be like take place right after Peacemaker, what we assume. But it could take place like what, a whole like month before Man Tomorrow. Who knows? So we'll just see how it all plays out. But if you like this reaction, like this video, like my content, subscribe, man, like, comment, share, turn on post notifications so you know I'm posting videos. And sorry about my recording. I'm mad about that shit. Kind of still mad about that shit. So I'm kind of like out of it right now. But we'll just deal with it. But till then, see y'all niggas.